Hello everyone, welcome to the course on Early Childhood Development Guidance. I am teacher Lee Wendy. Today we focus on the language development and learning support for toddlers aged 31-36 months. Today's content will be divided into 5 parts. First, the importance of language development in toddlers aged 31 to 36 months. Second, typical characteristics of language development in toddlers aged 31 to 36 months. Third, learning support strategies to promote language development in toddlers aged 31 to 36 months. Fourth, considerations in the process of supporting language development. Fifth, summary and interaction. The age range of 31 to 36 months is a critical sprint period for young children's language development, which not only affects their current communication abilities, but also lays a solid foundation for their future reading, writing, and even social skills. Research has shown that the language, comprehension, and expression abilities of toddlers aged 31 to 36 months undergo a leapfrog improvement. Providing scientific learning support during this stage can effectively reduce the risk of subsequent language development delays. Next, we will elaborate on 3 core parts: developmental characteristics, support strategies, and considerations. To help you comprehensively grasp the key points of language education for young children at this stage. Typical characteristics of language development in toddlers aged 31 to 36 months. To provide effective language support, it is first necessary to accurately grasp the language development patterns of young children at this stage. Their typical characteristics can be summarized as understanding precedes expression, and expression tends to become richer. This can be specifically divided into the following 3 points. 1. Language comprehension ability, able to understand complex instructions and situational dialogues. At this stage, young children can understand instructions that involve conditions or sequences, such as put the toys in the box first, then come and wash your hands. They can also understand simple situational dialogues, such as accurately pointing out the characters in a short story told by an adult. For example, where is the kitten? However, it should be noted that young children's understanding of abstract vocabulary, such as bravery and politeness, still needs to be combined with specific contexts. 2. Language expression ability, transition from one-word utterances and two-word utterances to complete sentences. Most toddlers aged 31 to 36 months can already speak complete sentences with 5 to 8 words. For example, Mom, take me to the park, and I don't want to eat green vegetables. Some young children who develop rapidly can even speak coherent sentences of about 10 words. And they will actively use personal pronouns such as I, you, and he. However, grammatical errors may still occur in their expressions, such as I eat finished, which is a normal developmental phenomenon and does not require excessive correction. 3. Willingness to communicate in language, initiate conversations, proactively focusing on two-way interaction. Compared to before the age of 30 months. Young children at this stage no longer limit their language communication to passive responses. Instead, they will actively initiate topics, such as saying, "Teacher, the bird flew away," when they see a bird flying by. At the same time, they will pay attention to the mutuality of the conversation. If an adult does not respond, they will repeat the question or raise their voice. eager to gain attention and feedback. Learning support strategies to promote language development in toddlers aged 31 to 36 months, based on the aforementioned developmental characteristics. We can design scientific learning support strategies from 3 dimensions: environmental creation, interactive methods, and activity design. The core principle is listening more, guiding more, and intervening less. 1. Creating an immersive language environment, integrating language into daily life. Audialized life scenarios. In daily routines such as dressing, eating, and walking. Communicate with young children using descriptive language. For instance, when dressing, say, "Let's put on the left sleeve first, then the right one. This dress is red and has a small strawberry pattern on it." This allows young children to perceive the connection between language and objects in a specific context. Provide multilingual materials. Place suitable picture books, such as cognitive picture books, with rich visuals and short text. Sound-making toys, such as storytelling dolls and puppets in the activity area, to stimulate children's interest in actively engaging with language. 2. Adopting a responsive, interactive approach, protecting young children's enthusiasm for communication. Active listening plus effective response. When a child initiates a conversation, adults need to stop what they are doing, make eye contact, and give specific responses, avoiding perfunctory huh or okay. For example, if a child says, "The car ran away," an adult can respond, "Yes, the red car is going really fast." Where is it going? Guiding the conversation to continue. Don't correct, demonstrate more. If a young child makes a grammatical error, there is no need to directly point out, "That's wrong," you should say. Instead, repeat the content using the correct expression. For example, if a child says, "I finished eating," an adult can respond, "Oh baby, you finished eating. Let's go wipe our mouths." Allowing the child to learn the correct expression subtly. 3. Design game-based language activities, make learning more fun. Situational role-playing. Using dolls and props to conduct simple role-playing games, such as Little Doctor Visits a Patient, allows children to practice dialogue through role-playing. For example, "Little doctor, what should I do if I have a stomachache?" "You should drink more warm water." Vocabulary expansion game. Through games like word chain, for example, apple fruit juice, and find the difference and say the word present to similar items, such as an apple and a pear, and guide young children to use words like red, round, sweet, etc. We aim to enrich young children's vocabulary. Considerations in the process of supporting language development. When implementing support strategies, it is necessary to avoid the following misconceptions. To ensure the scientific and appropriate nature of the support. 1. Avoid over-intervention. Do not force young children to learn language. Some adults, eager to enhance children's language abilities, will force young children to memorize ancient poems or recite words. This approach can make children resistant, thereby inhibiting language development. Language learning should be a natural process, requiring respect for the child's pace, without comparison or anxiety. 2. Avoid monotonous language environment. Provide more diverse language input. If daily communication is limited to directive language, such as eat quickly or don't run, the forms of language children are exposed to will be too monotonous. Adults should provide more descriptive questioning and emotional language. For example, the weather is so nice today, the sun is warm, let's go, sunbathe, descriptive. How do you think this toy should be played with to be fun? Questioning, Mommy is so happy to see you put on your shoes by yourself, emotional. 3. Pay attention to individual differences, promptly identify abnormal signals. Each child's language development pace is different. But if the following situations occur, we need to be alert for potential language development delays and promptly suggest parents seek professional evaluation. Unable to speak complete sentences of more than 5 words by 36 months. Unable to understand simple daily instructions, for example, give the cup to mommy. Do not initiate conversations at all, and do not respond to adult language interactions. Summary and interaction. Dear students, today we focused on the language development of 36-month-old toddlers and organized the 3 core contents: typical characteristics, support strategies, considerations. The key is to remember, the language support at this stage is not about teaching toddlers to talk, but about creating an environment for young children where they want to talk, dare to talk, and have the opportunity to talk. Finally, here is a small interactive task for everyone. Based on what you learned today, think about during the hand-washing routine in kindergarten. How can you use language support strategies to interact with young children? You can discuss this in groups after class, and we will share and exchange ideas in the next lesson. That is all for this lesson. Thank you for your participation.